Hi guys, it's Dave in real life and welcome to this ranked video, and today we're taking a look at Friday the 13th franchise. Yeah, there's 12 films to rank in order from worst to best. We've also done this with the Nightmare on Elm Street and Star Wars franchise, so let's deep dive into one of the most anticipated franchises of horror, and that is the Friday the 13th. So we're going to straight in for number 12 and the worst of the bunch, Jason Goes to Hell. This was made in 1993 by Adam Marcus. This was the first of New Line versions of the Friday films, marketed as Jason Goes to Hell, as Paramount would not let New Line use the Friday the 13th moniker. So yes, this is like a standalone-ish kind of thing, still part of that franchise but without the Friday the 13th. The actual full title of this movie is Jason Goes to Hell, The Final Friday. Why do I hate this one? There's not enough Jason Voorhees in it for one. They shoehorned his family background with him having a half sister. There's a hunter now apparently after him, and apparently Jason's got a little demon thing inside him that can swap souls. Yes, it is just a strange premise of a movie, and I just absolutely hate it. It's just not good. There are some kills in here, especially the girl in the tent with her boyfriend. If you've seen this shot, it is extremely gruesome, especially in the unedited version. Honestly, I'd check it out just for that kill alone, but the film itself is utter garbage. And I mean, when you kill Jason in the first 5 minutes of your movie, it just stands to reason. There is all kinds of carnage in this film as well. Just not a good Friday film, if I'm being honest. Which leads me to yet another bad Friday film, and it is the last of the Paramount Friday the 13th movies, and it is Jason Takes Manhattan, which was produced in 1989 by Rob Hedden. Should be called Jason Takes a Boat Ride, as basically they spent nearly over an hour just on the journey to Manhattan. Reasons for this is because they weren't budgeted or enough to spend that much time in New York itself. Basically, the opening credits of this movie, the actual scenes that you see later on in the movie when they're out in New York, from that exact same footage. So you have people like shooting up in a alleyway, I can't even say that, in a alleyway. There we go, we'll say it properly. At the beginning of the movie, we see this exact same people, these two guys, later on in the film, doing the exact same thing. And it's same with the guys with the ghetto blaster in middle of Times Square. So yeah, it basically sucks. And another thing, what really makes it bad, is the girl sees like visions of young Jason Voorhees, and this image changes all the way through the flipping film. There's one, he's got no hair. There's another one when he has hair. It's, oh my God. And then when you get to the big reveal, because apparently toxic waste can kill Jason now, we just get a small boy with a hockey mask on, shivering in the toxic waste. It's a shit show of a movie, if I'm being honest. There is one really good kill where the boxer gets his head knocked off and it goes into a trash can, but that's about it. This really is not a great film. We go on to number 10, and it is Jason X. This is a 2002 James Isaac film. This is another New Line effort of another Friday the 13th movie. Whenever you take a horror character into space, it shows that your franchise is dying. They did it with the Leprechaun. They did it with Pinhead. Yeah, it's just not a good look. They even did it with the third part of Critters. All right, granted they are space creatures anyway, and it kind of makes sense to have something in space with them. But yeah, it still seemed very strange and out of character. And then franchises pretty much died after the space exploits. So yeah, Jason X went down that similar vein. We've got a super Jason with a new silver hockey mask. Yeah, not a great movie, I'm afraid. Definitely low down in my list anyway. We now go to number 9, which is A New Beginning. In 1985, a Danny Steinman film, A New Beginning, is just basically just like Jason Goes to Hell. Barely. In fact, it doesn't even have Jason Voorhees. It's set around a care home, and these kids have like learning disabilities. We see a young boy with a candy bar. He's offering it to a guy what's carrying an axe. And he gets hacked, literally hacked. Then it's just a strange story, as after this death we see Voorhees back, killing random people. There's quite a lot more nudity in this one than any of the Friday films. But yeah, we get that. But it turns out that it's not Jason Voorhees in the end, that it's one of the paramedics at the beginning of the film, and it was his son what was the one what was killed. Very strange reveal at the end. Kind of angered a lot of Friday fanatics, as they wanted Jason Voorhees for real. They didn't like this like mystery killer aspect, even though we do get that in the original one. Then it's like Tommy Jarvis. Tommy Jarvis is a big character in the Friday the 13th series, and this was his second film, and they kind of hinged on the fact that he was challenged by his kill of Jason in what film we will get to later on, and that he was harbouring them like psychotic moments, and that he could be the next Jason Voorhees. Sadly, it didn't go that way. It would have made this movie a little bit more important than it was. But sadly, this is just a forgettable entry in the Friday series. So we've got New Beginning at number 9. Then at number 8, I've talked about this before in the ranked Red Nightmare on Elm Street series, so I'm not going to harp on about it again. Also, we did a watch along to this not so long back, which is Freddy versus Jason. It's at number 8, 2003, Ronnie Yu film. Yeah, I've said all I wanted to say about this movie, if I'm all honest, so we're going to just skip past that now. We go to number 7 in the list, and it's Friday the 13th Part 2. Why is this one so low down? Basically because it's just a retread of the first film. In fact, it starts off with at least 10 minutes of the ending of the first film, highlighting what had gone down. They kill that character off pretty much straight away in this movie. Yeah, it's just not a great film. It's just tread to tread of Friday the 13th. There's one decent kill in it, like there always is. There seems to be just one decent kill in these movies, and it's the guy in the wheelchair, and he gets a axe in his head and he goes going down the stairs. That's quite a visual, and you obviously connect that to the Friday the 13th series. It is Part 2 was made in 1981 by Steve Miner. Go on to Part 6, and this was a year later in 1982, with Steve Miner still at the helm of this Friday the 13th franchise, and it's Part 3. And at the time, everything was 3D. So guess what? This was a 3D movie. Part 3's in horror finances turned out to be all 3D at this particular time, like Piranha was 3D at this time as well. Yeah, this film, it just sucks. It's just literally, as they did in Nightmare on Elm Street, poking stuff like, oh look, it's in 3D, and you got all these strange angles of yo-yos what make no sense. Yeah, it just kind of made no sense in all honesty. The only good thing what came about this movie is the iconic hockey mask. That is the only thing what came out of this film, is that Jason would go on wearing the hockey mask after this film. So yeah, the introduction of the hockey mask is the only thing that saved this movie from being absolutely trash. So in saying that, we move away from 6, we're going on to at number 5. We're slowly getting into the good stuff now. And it's the final chapter from 1984. And it's from Joseph Zito. And it's the introduction of the young character of Tommy Jarvis. We briefly mentioned him in New Beginning, but this is the film that introduces him to the franchise, and it is played by a very young Corey Feldman. What I like about this one is it's just you've got the chemistry with the teenagers coming to Crystal Lake to be new camp counsellors, and then you've got little Tommy Jarvis, who's a little bit of a pervert, and he's kind of into special effects and like masks and stuff. So this is how he tricks Jason in the end. And plus he's got a sister what seems to have a little bit of clout about her. She's not scared of Jason in any way, shape or form. So they both end up tackling him in the end. It has the same treads of any Friday the 13th movie, but just because of this sensational tag team that go up against Jason in the end is why I've put this at 5. It's a really good movie, and it's the introduction of Tommy Jarvis to the franchise, which becomes important as this list goes on. So at number 4, I've gone for New Blood, which is the 1988 John Carl Bouchier. I have no idea how you pronounce his last name. But this one is the telekinesis one. Why is this so high up? Because it is a bit bland at start. I've got to give it that. It has the same trend as most of the Friday films, but it has this girl who has got telekinesis, and the actual thought of Jason going up against somebody, I mean, this is full-on zombie Jason at this point. To have him going up against somebody with some kind of power, kind of like, yeah, intrigued. Having these like strange visuals, her using items to take him down is quite refreshing. It's just a shame we didn't get a lot of it in the end. I think a lot of the kills in this movie were let down by the board of filmmakers in America. I can't, NPAA or whatever, I don't know the full name of them, but basically they cut down the gore massively. If you can go on YouTube and find all the gory bits if that's what you want to do. But yeah, the kills in this were a hell of a lot more gorier. Literally, this was like the most PG Friday the 13th movie, because they just weren't allowed to get away with what they wanted to do. In saying that, I don't think it helped the movie anyway, but I just like the element of the telekinesis girl. Yeah, it's out there, but Jason being a zombie's out there. So yeah, that's why that's at number 4. At number 3 is the remake. Yeah, why have I put the remake so high up on the list, you ask? It's because it was Paramount's first chance back with the franchise, and after watching this god-awful mess that was Jason Goes to Hell and Jason X, it's just refreshing to see Jason back where he belonged, back doing what he does best. Yes, kidnapping a girl is a little bit out there. It made no sense, but him being back at his killing best and where he should be at Camp Crystal Lake just made so much sense. This was made in 2009 and it was Marcus Nispel what made this film. I just like it for that fact. It was just a real coming of home like film. Is it the best? Obviously not, but I just like it's for nostalgia reasons, just because Jason is back where he belonged, in the right movie studios, if you will. So yeah, that's why I've picked that. So at number 2, and yeah, it's quite of a surprise, but I'm actually going to put the original in at number 2. Yeah, Friday the 13th, made in 1980 by Sean S. Cunningham. Reason why this is at number 2, it's not that it's a bad movie, it's got nothing to do with that. It is what started the franchise, but it didn't start the Jason franchise. He started after this film. This was purely about his mother getting revenge on the camp counselors. Sorry if you haven't seen it, hopes I spoiled it. But